I tend to stay away from scary games, so I guess I'm a scaredy cat. Hello and welcome to the Player 33 show. I am your host, Bob, and I am with my trusty co-host, Finch. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? This is Finch. I just want to give a shout out to all my gamers, moviegoers, and of course, can't forget all you cosplayers out there.
Oh, can't forget the cosplayers. God, I love them so much, especially the male cosplayers. Those are my absolute favorite.
Well, that's your personal opinion, but going to any sort of convention, cosplayers bring it up to the next level for sure.
Yeah, but I love your little, you're such a JRPG motherfucker. I love your little clouds and stuff. Those are my favorite.
Oh, yeah. So, we are in episode 3, and we are hoping to learn a lot from our previous 2 episodes.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about episode 2, more specifically.
Episode 2?
Yeah.
I had a real statement to make on episode 2. What do you mean? I put a lot of time into that.
So, we can't begin this podcast until we at least address episode 2 somewhat. If anyone's going to listen, because I don't know if I would listen to episode 3 if I listened to episode 2.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, truth hurts, but, it hurts me as well, but that's what we got to do. Anyways.
So what are you trying to say?
So
what are you trying to say?
We tried something new, and we are going to continue to do it, but Bob here had a great idea of getting all these clips together without me
so
knowing.
Much time.
Did his research. I'm like, okay, we're doing a gaming podcast, movies too, and maybe comics and other quote unquote nerd culture things. But what happened? What happened with the politics on episode 2?
Well, I don't know. The best way to sum it up is like this.
You blew it!
I fucked up, everybody. I'm saying sorry. Don't listen to episode 2. Just don't listen to it at all unless you want to go, like watch a Bill O'Reilly episode or something. So yeah, just fucking ignore it.
That's basically it. But anyways, we're gonna try to do much better on this podcast and actually talk about some more gaming and other topics. But I guess the first thing I want to talk about is that we both are gonna have our own things that maybe we talk about or specialize in, and one of the things is I do a board game night.
More of like a personal take on who the hell we are and things like that.
Yeah, in a way, exactly. Like I cater to this more. You cater to other things. But anyways, I just last night I had one of my monthly-ish board game nights. We try to play once a month. Sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little shorter, just depends. But I just kind of want to talk about board games because I do love board games. So the one that's in rotation right now that we just got at the end of last year that we've played a couple times now, or had a couple nights playing it, is Ticket to Ride.
I've heard of that one. I've heard really good things about that.
So you have heard about it. So
yes, I have.
So this is a game that I was researching for. I don't even want to call it a club. I mean, it's it's my brother and some of my friends.
Do you guys play it regularly? Is it like a weekly thing or?
No, it's like monthly. It is regular though.
That's cool.
So it is regular, but to get 4 to 5 grown adults in the same place at the same time once a month is pretty hard. So,
it's impressive that you can do that. And I was not there, and I would like to go someday, but I'm really, really, really bad at getting the fuck out of my house. So we'll see.
Well, I wish I could say that I'm not like that, but I host it at my house. So I guess it kind of works out for me. I can still be
it does.
a homebody and have my fun too. So I'm kind of having my cake and eating it too, if you want to be lame about it. But anyways, we played Ticket to Ride, and we're gonna try something new. We're always trying stuff new here. We're only in episode 3, so obviously we have a lot of room to try things. But I figured we play a video on like how to play it, and I'll add, elaborate on anything when I feel necessary. But we had a game last night before you played the clip, and it was really fun. It's from 2 to 5 players. It's a 2 to 5 player game, and we've had 2 nights of it, and we've been able to squeeze in 5 games. And I'm kind of thinking about going pro because I'm currently undefeated. I am 5-0 at Ticket to Ride in my little board game club, for a lack of a better word. We'll just call it a club. Why not?
No wonder you're gonna go pro. You're always good at fucking games, board games. It doesn't matter. I even played horse with you. Okay, you and me are not in shape, guys. Okay, I'm gonna let everybody know we're a little frumpy, and I just remember coming over to your house playing fucking horse at your basketball hoop, and you're like a little fucking Michael Jordan. I hate it. You're good at everything. It drives me nuts.
Dude, it's a curse, man, because
such a curse. I know.
No, it is a curse. Let me explain, because I am good at a lot of things. I don't know why. I played sports when I was growing up. I was always the best video gamer in the neighborhood,
He's very humble as well.
Beating the game, the kid that could beat the game, the kid that would beat you in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. I'm not saying I was the best in the town or anything. I go to arcade, get my butt whooped, of course, but always good, sports, all-star teams,
You like to dominate your friends.
Dominate my friends. No, I just have this natural gift to be good at everything. But you know what? I'm not great. I'm not great at anything. So that's the curse. I'm not necessarily great at anything, but I can pick up or learn something new pretty quickly and be pretty decent at it. Quicker than a lot of people, I guess. But that hasn't helped me. That hasn't helped me financially. So I don't know how much of a blessing that is. So.
Well, let's get to it. Let's tell people what the hell you've been playing.
So Ticket to Ride. I guess start playing part of it.
Here we go.
Ticket to Ride is a cross-country train adventure. Players will compete to connect different cities by claiming the railway routes of North America. The setup is quite simple. You have the board map of North America, 5 different colored train cars, scoring markers, a deck of train car cards, a deck of destination ticket cards, 1 summary card, and the longest continuous path bonus card. Before the game begins, each player will choose one of the 5 different colored sets of train cars and the matching scoring marker. Then each player's starting hand will consist of 4 random train car cards and 3 destination ticket cards. The object of the game is to score the highest number of total points. On each player's turn, they can only choose one of 3 actions.
Okay.
The actions are: draw train.
Okay. So this game is like a card drawing game, basically, and you are trying to complete destinations. That's what they were referring to in these tickets. And so you have a map, and the video clip that we're playing, the original game has the map of North America, or the United States, basically. And the version that we are playing is the Europe version. It's actually like Europe in like 1912 or something. So all the towns and names and everything, and what they were called back then.
That sounds more interesting.
Represented. Well, the reason why I got it is, I did my research. It was supposed to be a more competitive, even playing field as far as the map goes compared to the North American field or map. The big thing I heard in the North American map is that, when you kind of figure out some of the key places, the place the route you're trying to get, then everyone's competing for that, and whoever gets that typically wins. I'm not necessarily saying that's the case. I haven't necessarily played it, but that was the biggest criticism. And the Ticket to Ride Europe actually introduces a few more rules that kind of even the playing field, so that nobody's necessarily going to feel like they're in last place or doesn't have a chance to win. I mean, there comes to a point in all games when you're like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to win. But you definitely, if you're going for something, if you're going for a route, then and someone else gets it before you, there's still multiple ways designed for you to be able to still accomplish what you were trying to do. But anyways, you get these little train cars and their routes, and they go from city to city. So there's all these little routes on the board that go from city to city, and and each route has these like little rectangles where you would put your trains at, and so you could have two cities at three spaces separate them, 4 spaces or 6 spaces, and when you complete the route, you get a certain amount of points for completing the route. So the longer the route is in between the cities, the more points you get for that route. Does that make any sense to you as someone that's never played the game?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, visual is always better, but I mean, I get the point of the game.
I mean, you got a point A to point B, and
Exactly.
Car cards. Claim a route.
Oh, producing on the fly. Sorry, guys.
And anyways, so there's spaces in between the cities. So there could be 3 spaces or 5 spaces or 7 spaces or whatever spaces, and if obviously doing a train of 3 is going to be worth less than say a train of 5. I mean, you get that basic concept, right?
Of course.
So anyways, you have these destination tickets in your hand, and they tell you, they're kind of like your missions. They're like your missions. So they'll say, go to London to Brest or something. And if you complete that route, if you go all the way to London to Brest, then you will get the points that are on that card, on that ticket, and that'll go to your total score. And like you said, or like the clip says in the beginning of the game, the object is to get the most points.
And do you have like like just a ton of train cars, and you just like put your cars down, and you say you got London to Brussels or whatever, and then you want to go Brussels to Paris? Do you have like just tons of train cards and you just leave them on those routes as you like get them, and once you complete one place to another, you get a point? And is that kind of how it works?
Yes. So once you claim a route, you always have that route. So you'll place your train cars out. And yes, you have plenty of trains, little train pieces that you put out. Think of like Risk, you're like army men and all that stuff. So you have all these things that are just train pieces. And, once you use them, you don't get them back, but you have a supply. And the game actually ends, the game is triggered when one person gets down to 2 train cars or less. So when someone gets down, when someone plays a route and that brings their pile of train cars down to 2 or less, then everyone gets one more turn, and then the game ends. So that kind of triggers the end of the game and decides, there's not a time factor. There's not a first one to X amount of points or anything. It's whoever has the most points after the, game ending trigger event occurs. And, that's pretty much the basic concept of it. There's a color system involved. So you're drawing cards and you're trying to match colors. If you want to complete this route will be like, say, 3 spaces, as I mentioned earlier. It could be 3, 5, or whatever. So let's just say it's 3 and it's red. So that means you got to collect 3 red train cards to be able to complete the route. So most of the time it just goes around the table, around the people, and you can draw cards to build up your hand and get all the different colors and try to get multiples of each color, and then start trying to complete your tickets and your destinations. And you can draw more destination tickets once you've completed the ones you have. There's a longest route. There's like a long route ticket. That's like from one city on one side of the board all the way to the other side of the board. So it's really hard to get. But with that said, one thing that you mentioned that I didn't describe very well is your trains don't have to be connected. So you could do a route. You could do a train route that's in the northwest of the board map, and then you could do a completely separate route on the southeast, and they have them not be connected. Your routes do not have to be connected. You can build on any route on the map you want. It's up to you on what strategy you want to take. to win the game. So I don't know, how much sense this is making, but I don't know if you're going to continue playing the clip.
Oh, you want me to keep going with it? I can keep going with
Well,
it.
I mean, we probably
You
isn't
explained a
necessary.
lot of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you explained probably everything she's going to talk about.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the game. It's really fun. There's a lot of strategy involved. You can try to complete your tickets. You can try to just get all the longest routes on the board, because the longer the routes are, the more points it gets amplified by. You can try to screw other people over by letting them not get their routes. So I mean, it's not a hard game. It's definitely not one of the hardest games. Like the last game that we played was Catan, and I don't want to even say Catan's a hard game, but this game is much simpler than say Catan was. But it's just a fun game.
When you're drunk like me and trying to teach me, Catan was a little bit.
Well, no, that's why I like this game a lot, is that you can have a drink, get together with your friends, and everyone can kind of follow and know what's going on. It's not a miniature tabletop game or anything like that, but it's definitely more fun than your stupid Monopolies of the world and all that. I can't stand all those like Hasbro games from the 50s. There's so many new games that are being created every day that are just so much more innovative and fun. And that's kind of what this whole segment is supposed to be about. It's just introduced to newer games that aren't those Hasbro games that you grew up playing with, like Yahtzee and Boggle and Scrabble and
Boggle,
and Monopoly and Chutes and Ladders and Candyland, and the game. The list obviously can go on longer than that, but we try to play newer games, different games. None of these games are like super new. Like we're not trying to get ones that just came out this year or anything, but games that are starting to become known in the world, and they're really fun.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's all good. So yeah, just to let everybody know, we've lied in the first episode. We are not a video game podcast. We are a board game podcast and a political podcast.
Yes, that would be the case. But maybe you have something about video games.
I got some video game stuff, guys. I've actually got some video game stuff. A little bit more has come out on the Nintendo Switch. There's a couple of fun things. During the reveal presentation that we talked about on episode 1, they just glossed over that there was going to be a monthly subscription for Nintendo to play multiplayer games, and there may or may not be some other benefits to that. We still do not know exactly how much it's going to cost. I read something on Kotaku a couple days ago saying that it was going to be a lot cheaper than PlayStation's and Xbox Live. So those are, I think, like they end up being $12 a month or $10 a month or something. So I don't know. Is this going to be 9, 8, whatever? I don't know. But one of the big benefits that is going to be included with your subscription is, well, let me just read exactly what they say on their website. Here we go. Quote, subscribers will get to download and play Nintendo Entertainment System or Nintendo or Super Nintendo Entertainment System games with newly added online play for free for a month.
Dun, dun, dun. There's always a kicker. Always.
There's the kicker with Nintendo, always. So basically, they're slightly taking advantage of what everybody is saying. You have an incredible library of games. Charge me a subscription. Give me a Netflix-style thing to everything. Earthbound, the original Zelda, Mario 1, 2, 3, whatever. So they're dipping their toe in the water, as Nintendo does, because they take a while to realize things. And what they're going to let you do is they're going to let you pay to be able to rent one of their old games for a month and then pay again if you want to be able to keep playing it.
That is...
They're double dipping.
Yeah, no, I don't like it, and I don't not even as a consumer, like as a businessman, I don't like it. They don't come out with games enough. You know, we all know that that's a big problem with Nintendo. So how could you do that? You have games that are 20 years old, 10, 15 years old, that are still fun to this day, that you could just charge a subscription fee to get access to all of them at one time. And
But they don't even
then,
have to do that.
but what you do is and I'm sorry, this is a little anti-consumer, okay? So I will be honest about that. But as a businessman, as a person running Nintendo, I would not allow you to buy the games individually ever. You would not be buying the games individually so that you have it, and then now you don't need their subscription fee anymore. Now you don't need this because you've already got your collection, and hopefully these collections will, you know, be passed up to the next generations. Hopefully, once they get, you know, like a Nintendo account that will link all your purchases. So, so you would
Sorry,
think
that's
that
funny.
would happen, right? You know, you would think that's what's going to be the case. But if you just had a subscription for the old library, it gives plenty of people to play the games and want to buy your system and have games to play in between your new games that are coming out. And maybe you'll see, you know, what interests people have in your older games, and make newer versions of those, and you keep the cycle going. I mean, Nintendo could probably literally survive on just, you know, having an open subscription to as many people as possible to play all their old games. I mean, you can already emulate them. A lot of people have already downloaded them on the Wii and all that stuff. So I would eliminate having you purchase it, and just so you have to do a subscription that's like guaranteed money in my hand, in my pocket every month.
And they don't even have to do that, though. They could just literally mirror, for this online service, they could just mirror Xbox and PlayStation's strategy of, we're going to announce 2 quote unquote free games every month that if you have a subscription active, you get that game and you can play it for as long as you keep your subscription active. Why not just do that? What they're trying to do is they're just trying to double dip, saying, look, we're going to charge you a subscription. We're going to let you demo some stuff for a month. We're going to let you rent it for a month. And then we're going to try to get you to pay again to actually keep it. And I got to say, I mean, once they get through some of their bigger games, you know, your Donkey Kongs and stuff, basically the stuff that's on the NES Classic, once they get through that, how is that going to be compelling at all to anybody to keep paying for it? Because they're going to start, you know, scraping around on the bottom of the barrel with some of the third-party stuff, which is really cool. And they've got some great stuff, Final Fantasy, all that JRPG shit that you love so much, and Chrono Trigger and all that.
Yeah.
But I just think it's so stupid and such a wasted opportunity.
But the way that you described it is that it's a rental service for games that you don't even get to choose which ones you're renting.
But that's okay. Like, you don't.
You think that's okay?
No. What I'm saying is that it's okay to have games you don't choose if they get to keep it for free as long as their subscription is active. So what you're saying is you don't even get to keep it, but they're only going to be random games that you don't get to choose to rent. It's just they're going to give you a game or two and you can rent it, and that's it. And you have no other choice. So you got to wait till next month. Hopefully it's not.
That's what they're actually doing. Is what you're.
That's what they're actually doing. Exactly.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking. So I still like my model, and I would still like the 2 free a month. But I mean, that's, you know, the Nintendo has, I don't know, you know, they have 1,000 games. I mean, 2 a month. I mean, how many years?
It could last forever, longer than the Switch will
longer than
last.
a lifetime. You know, than a human full lifetime. They were buying games from 1 year old till 90 or 100. So I don't know. I would just like a subscription to Netflix, man. Just get access to all of them. Play when I feel like it. I know it's always there. Know that I can have access to the whole library at any time.
I feel like by doing it this way too, they're ruining that prospect. Like, by the time Nintendo comes around 6 years from now after the Switch, they say, "Oh, we're going to do this." Everyone's going to be just sick of their fucking back catalog. They're just not going to care.
I know they're getting close to that point now. That's why they need to just give you access to it. I'm not saying the way I'm saying is necessarily perfect, but just get access to it that's more than 1 or 2 games at a time. from 3 to potentially 4 different systems: Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube.
All right, I'm going to make a bold prediction on this show right here, the Player 33 show. I'm going to make a really bold prediction. Are you ready?
Okay, you got my ear.
Okay, we're in the month of February now, 2017. At E3, they are going to announce that their monthly game subscription service or whatever is going to allow you to keep whatever games are available that month as long as you're paying your subscription. That's going to be like a big deal. I think that they are going to fail miserably in their initial offering because there's not going to be any fucking games to play online up until that time frame of June, you know, like what's that game? What's that fucking Squid Game? Come on, dude, help me. Splatoon is not going to be out. There's no new Mario Karts out. You got Zelda out. I mean, there's like no reason to pay for the online thing at all.
Well, right, but I mean, did you heard that you don't have to pay for it until fall?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, so the online is going to be free. Yeah, until sometime in the fall.
Oh, well then shit, that just like destroys my little fucking.
So they may not
prediction.
even announce a price at E3.
Fuck. All right, maybe they will finally announce a price at E3 for coming September. Oh man. All right, never mind. Scratch that. I didn't know that piece of information. Yeah. I thought they're going to charge for this out the gate. And there's like nothing to play online. Ugh, okay.
Now, what I do think is sexy about the whole situation, and wish, you know, they're kind of getting me, kind of pulling at my heartstrings, is taking. I don't know if this is what they're doing because it's a vague description. They could take it either way, but if they mean that they're gonna take some of their like NES and SNES games that were like 4-player multiplayer, you know, like couch co-op, I guess is the term, and actually turn that into an online function where I can get into you know, like a beat 'em up game with 3 other people or 2 other people, or play the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games online with other people controlling the other turtles. And that is pretty awesome from
Billy.
Yes, that is so good. No, seriously. That is the one like super fucking awesome thing about this. I remember you and me, we set up our fucking net play on emulators to play through on like a Friday night the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game that was an arcade, and then they brought it to the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was fucking great.
That was fantastic. So
I love that.
If they do that though, they actually do it right and do it for those type of games that, you know, turn couch co-op into online multiplayer, especially for the generation that played those games, you know, couch co-op are all now, you know, in the middle of their lives and working and have children most likely. So that would be a great way to have those experiences again without having to get 4 adults in the same room at the same time.
I love it. Absolutely love it. But all right, let's move on to one other thing about Nintendo. They've announced some new launch titles. So we read on episode 1 what the launch titles were, and they were incredible. I mean, they were so good. You had like Snipper Clips and Dance Dance Revolution 2017.
Play them all.
Yeah, they had some really, really. Oh yeah, they had Rayman Legends. You know, they had a lot of good shit.
I really do want to own Rayman Legends for like the 5th time. That would be incredible.
Yes, of course. So they've announced some new ones that I think are kind of a big deal. I think we're going to be rushing out to get the system. They are World of Goo, Little Inferno, and Human Resource Machine.
Are these all like indie games or something? Because I've never heard of any of them.
They
Except
are
World of Goo, but I haven't heard of the other 2.
They are indie games that I played on my iPhone in 2012 and 2013.
Oh wow, okay. I don't even. I mean, the fact that they probably made an announcement for that is so sad, man.
Oh, well, they didn't make an announcement. It just was kind of like, big news, like Nintendo's getting more launch titles. It was probably the developer and publisher of these games that came out and said it. But, well, no, Nintendo did mention something on it. But anyway, I just thought it was just kind of funny, and it's kind of fucking pathetic.
Yeah, it is. It is. But did you have anything else on?
I know a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
No. I got
No,
that's it.
You're
That's
done.
it.
All right. We'll move it on then.
But I think it's time for our famous donation segment. I'd like to turn your attention to President George W. Bush.
I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
And as always, folks, one of the things that my co-host and I will do is
Make sure your money is spent wisely.
that's right. We're going to make sure it's spent wisely. We need the funding. We need to keep doing this bullshit. I mean, we've got a good amount of downloads leading up to this. I think people like this shit. Except for episode 2, that just was a total tank. We had negative downloads on that one. Yeah,
That was
bad.
like minus 1,000.
Yeah, it was really bad. But we're doing a value for value model. If we bring value to your life, bring some value back to ours. We need funding to keep this thing going. In order for me to go make a whole political episode like episode 2 and just listen to this god awful shit and just pull so many clips from it, that takes time and money. So anyway, the way you can help us is you can go to patreon.com/player33. Now that 33 are just the numbers 33. Anyway, go visit, check us out, subscribe to us, help us out a little bit. I mean, what do you think, Finch? Do we need the money or not? I mean, I'm not a high roller.
We could definitely use your support to keep this thing going for as long as possible. But the biggest thing that I want to get out, the biggest point about the value for value model is that it allows us to keep doing what we're doing and not have to be controlled by any sort of advertising company or any other companies that want to, do ads. Keep everything ad free here.
Please help us keep this ad free.
Let
seriously.
our opinions be controlled by only what we say and no other corporations that are sending ads in our podcast, because that does happen. You believe it or not, folks, people's opinions cannot always be shared when you have advertisers, because they will.
When fucking Capcom's advertising for us, we can't talk shit about their games. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's a blatant, nice little example. For Capcom's announcing us, I can't, go on a rant on why they won't make another Mega Man game.
Exactly. So help us out. Help us out, people. Patreon.com/player33. All right, let's move to the next big topic in gaming. A very, very big game dropped, Finch. A huge game dropped.
So a game drop that, as you would say, that I am a huge fan of. Played, I don't want to say every single game, but almost every single game of this series. And that game would be
Resident Evil
7.
Siete, motherfucker.
Exactly. Biohazard, I think is what it's called. Now, just like every single podcast you've probably listened to, I got to the exact same point as they did. So I'm only about an hour and a half in. And
turn it off now. You've already heard this, guys. Don't even listen to what Finch has to say.
You probably have already heard this, because it seems like everyone that's getting this game plays it for about an hour and a half. Then they want to talk about it, and then maybe they talk about it later. I don't know. I haven't heard that quite yet. But anyways, I definitely want to give my some of my first impressions as a huge Resident Evil fan from the original Resident Evil on PlayStation. I beat that game so many times. I still go back and play that game every couple years, just because it's so fun, and I have the the newest one now on PC, which is the
Dude,
remake.
we should totally do a replay sometime. Like do it on YouTube for our fans. I
Of
think
the
they'd have fun with that.
of the original one, like
Yeah,
remake
the
with
original
Finch?
one, the remake. Yeah, and then after that, if they like it, we could do the upcoming remake of Resident Evil 2, which I'm looking forward to.
I'm definitely looking forward to that one, big time. And I forgot about that. They announced that years ago. Wow. Yeah,
It's
I
coming
forgot
soon, though.
about that.
I heard some stuff recently about it. It's coming pretty soon.
So it might be some E3 news, maybe.
Possibly, I don't know. We'll see.
But
But anyway, continue on. Sorry.
the biggest thing, the biggest change, well, two big changes, I guess, if you want to call it that, is going into first-person mode. It really works well. I really like it. It's not really that big of a shocker. We've all played so many first-person games at this point, if you're a gamer at all, that it's not necessarily mean that it's not a Resident Evil game, but it's in first person and it works really well. And there's one small detail. Well, before I get to the small detail, I will say that this game definitely goes back to the more old school Resident Evil. So I know, Bob, that you have the game too, and that you're gonna play it, and it is legit scary. I mean, there are, and I don't know about you, but I don't get scared by anything. I can't go to a haunted house and get scared. I can't watch a horror movie and get scared. It seems like gaming, it was really the only avenue for me to get scared on. Yet it's been a long time since I've been really scared on something. And Resident Evil, don't get me wrong, I'm not like having to shut it off or anything, but it'll get my heart going. It'll make me jump. It definitely does a good job of that. How are you on being scared by media like that?
I don't like horror movies very much, and I am not a huge fan of the jump scares. I tend to stay away from scary games, so I guess I'm a scaredy cat. I just like the jump stuff is just I really hate it. So I'm actually looking forward to putting myself through this, and I want to play this. Like, it looks cool.
I almost want to watch you play this, because the best way to play this game for anyone that hasn't started playing it yet is it starts you off outside and in daylight, very non-threatening, and if you just go and just buy into it and keep yourself off guard, then when those moments happen that are kind of freaky, it has a much more impact. If you're just traveling, not like, there is one way to play the game is to just go slow and look around every corner and look at everything before you start continuing. Or you can just go to the room, investigate, look around, more nonchalantly, and not be so worried. And then those surprises happen, and it was really impactful.
But he's gonna bust through the wall with like a fucking shovel. I saw in the trailers.
That may happen.
I'm nervous. I'm really, really nervous about this, to be honest.
There are
I do
some
not
jump
like this
scares,
stuff.
but there's also some other elements to it that are not jump scares.
So it's not all jump scares.
It's
'Cause
not
I am
all
not
jump
a fan.
scares. Out of the hour and a half I played, I think there was 2 jump scares. And from what I hear, the game's like 10, 11 hours long.
I can handle that ratio of jump
So
scares.
if it stays like that, then yeah, it was about 2.
Well, let me tell you something about myself that I think will clear everything up. You're gonna laugh your ass off at this.
Okay.
When I was a kid, the movie E.T. scared the living fucking shit out of me. And like, even to this day,
What?
it makes me nervous. I haven't gone back and actually watched it.
Even to this day?
Even to this day, I've been wanting to do it. And like my sister, she has like gotten on my desktop and stuff when she comes over and hangs out, and when I'm not around, and like change the background to like ET and shit. And I have to admit, like, when I see it,
E.T.
yes, it's, oh my god, it scared me, man. I'm serious.
Were you scared by Hocus Pocus?
No, I love Hocus Pocus because Sarah Jessica Parker is so hot in that movie.
Can you even watch? Well, I don't know about that, but can you watch The Exorcist?
I love The Exorcist. I've seen it a bunch of times. It's great.
Then what the hell about E.T., man?
I haven't watched it in adulthood. I need to just do it.
Drew Barrymore when she's like 4.
We just need to get some of our listeners together so we can watch this movie live and help me get over my fucking fear of this shit.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh, when that baseball comes out of the shed when he throws it back. Oh god.
That scares you? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh.
No,
It's just
supposed to,
it's a kid thing, man. It's a kid thing.
It's supposed to appeal to your sense of wonder, man.
But when he's all white and stuff and the guys in the suits, oh god, fuck.
You're gonna
I don't-
laugh if you watch it.
I'll laugh.
You really?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm gonna do it. I'll have to do it for this show, like at the very least, to
I
get
don't
over
know
this.
I don't know how you're gonna play this game then, but okay.
No, it's different. That's just a kid thing. But anyway, I mean, how would you sum up RE7 so far? Resident Evil 7. Are you liking it?
No, I really love it. I haven't even really got to the good parts yet. I just got my gun. I just got past the first boss.
Do you have like 4 bullets ready to go?
No, it's a little. It got me a little worried on playing, so I'm gonna actually kind of ruin this for you. But right, you get your gun, like you find the gun. So the first part of the game, you're just kind of exploring and learning that, kind of how the game. It's kind of telling you that this is gonna go back to the old school way, where you have a map and you're going room to room. I love that. I love going room to room and kind of backtracking and getting to things I couldn't get to before. I just kind of like that kind of stuff. But I mean, it really telegraphs that something's big coming, because you walk in this room, there's a gun laying on the table, and then there's a pack of bullets. So you got a gun full of bullets. You just picked up a pack of bullets, and I think like on the other side of the room, there's another pack of bullets. And you're like, okay, something's definitely gonna happen. And you keep going. You walk into the next room, and you find another pack of bullets, and you're like, okay. And then shortly after, you get to your first boss. So, and
All
you
right.
do.
I heard that first boss is tough.
And you do, yeah. I recommend dying on that boss one time, because I did.
Just because you learn.
Yeah, it's kind of like you play the Tomb Raider games, right? Or the
Yeah,
newer
yeah,
Tomb
of
Raider.
course.
It's kind of like those death
Yeah.
scenes. Really cool
Yeah,
death
yeah,
scenes. You might as well just like
Experience
see it.
1 or 2 of them, right?
Yeah, don't feel bad. Just shoot the boss a couple times. Maybe just work on how you're gonna kill it next time, but ultimately die the first time, and it's pretty fun.
So
It's
death
great.
isn't that punishing as far as like losing stuff,
you-
or
You will go back a little bit. There is like I don't know how well it works, but there is a retry button instead of a load button. But when I hit the retry button, it didn't. I had to do a little bit of extra stuff before I got to the boss again. It didn't put
Okay.
me like right up there. I'm ready to fight the boss, about to walk in. It did kind of put me back a little bit, but it wasn't a big deal. And I
so
don't
there's
know.
there's
I
no
don't-
manual save. It's just like a checkpoint kind of system.
I no, there is a manual save. The thing I don't know about a retry is if it's just pulling your last load save or if it's actually pulling a checkpoint. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's too late
All
to
right.
tell. But one small detail I would want to mention that just really drove the point home that this is a Resident Evil game is early on in the PlayStation games, one of the big key signatures that the Resident Evil game stood out for was when you went up the stairs or when you opened up a door, more specifically. So you would open up a door and it would go to this little cutscene and the door would open and you don't know what's
It was
behind
all
the
black.
door. The
when
door has to
opened.
be complete. Yeah, it's all black, and the door has to be completely, go through that whole animation before you know what you're getting yourself into. Resident Evil 7 does this in the most genius, most modern way possible. So when you get to a door, you're in first person mode. Your character kind of like leans up on the door, and if the door's not locked, he pushes the door open, but you're so close to the door and your view is blocked by the door that you can't see anything in that room until that door is completely open. And then you can see what you got yourself into, or if it's a safe room, or if it's or if there's going to be a bunch of whatever behind it. I'm not that far in the game. I don't know what kind of, I would assume zombies of some kind, but
That's pretty cool.
It's
That's
kind of
like
cool.
really harkening back to the.
You
the
open
old-
the door and you can't see what you're walking yourself into still. Like they did it in a modern way that is pretty genius. You got to give him credit on that
I like
detail.
it.
And I
So
haven't
overall,
heard anyone talk about that detail, by the way.
that's a nice detail. That's what I remember from the first one. That is cool.
So no, I mean that's about all I have on Resident Evil 7. I will definitely talk about it more when I've probably completed it.
Absolutely. All right. So last but not least, I would like to talk about maybe a new segment that we may introduce to the show. We'll probably do this for each of us, because we're individual people. We have our own lives. Finch and I are different.
I kind of referenced it early on, but we are each going to have our own beat, if you want to say that. And mine, I guess, is going to be board games every once in a while. And I guess you're going to have a little every once in a while segment yourself.
Yeah, so I love my wife very dearly. Let me go ahead and put that out. So I want to tell you about my new beat. My new beat is...
You love your wife dearly,
But she really likes... I love you, dear. I really do. But she really likes shitty fucking television and even shittier movies. And so I'm married. I'm married to this woman, and she'll play these things. Yes.
By the way, we would like to consider ourselves having really good taste and really like high standards. So, wouldn't you agree that we probably have high standards?
Yes, and we are going to show everyone. We're not just going to say we have high standards. We are going to totally show you what those are in the coming episodes.
Yeah, we'll probably.
I mean, Finch and I would just, I swear to God, me and him would just both like switch off back and forth. We would suck Quentin Tarantino's dick, I think, literally.
Well, I'll watch you.
Maybe if like, no, I mean, I think you would with me, and like the Coen brothers would be in the back of the room just jacking their own cocks watching us. So anyway. All right, so my wife's watches really shitty stuff, so I want to do something for our listeners. I want to do the hard things. I want to do the tough things. I'm going to watch these shitty movies and these shitty TV shows for you so that you don't have to. Okay? That's going to be my beat. I'm going to report back on them, and I might have some clips and things from them, but so I went on the beat early, and I experienced a movie called Twilight. You ever heard of Twilight, Finch?
I did hear about Twilight. That was during my Harry Potter phase, which I love Harry Potter. I don't want to call it a phase, but that's when the movies were coming out. And they wanted to squeeze Twilight kind of in the middle of that. And I said, no way.
Well, you were right to do that. And I watched it a couple days ago. And I don't know what to say. I think the only way to sum it up, I recorded a couple of shitty quality clips that I'd like to play for you guys, just so you know what I am doing, the sacrifice I am making for these listeners to this podcast so that they don't have to. And that is exactly why you need to visit our Patreon. But here we go. I'm going to play a clip for you guys.
About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how dominant that part might be, that thirsted for my blood.
I just don't like vampires.
Wait.
And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him.
Oh man.
Okay.
I don't want to retract my statement. I don't want to say that I don't like vampires, but
vampires can be cool, but this is not
it's
it.
not my favorite subject. I love Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
This is not that, buddy.
Yeah, there are some, obviously.
This is not that.
I also don't like werewolves. So
oh, that's the worst.
You
Werewolves
combine
are
the two,
worst.
and
yes.
you have a recipe for something that I don't even want to lay my eyes on.
All right, before we close the show out, I got one more clip for you guys. I want you to know what I'm doing for you. I want this to sink in.
My family, we're different from others of our kind. We only hunt animals. We learn to control our thirst. It's you. Your scent. It's like a drug to me. You're like my own personal brand of heroin.
Oh God, I love it so much. I love it so much. So that is exactly what I am going to do for you guys. That is going to be my new beat.
That movie just combined my least 3 favorite things.
What, heroin and
Vampires-
love and blood?
No. Vampires, werewolves, poetry.
Oh.
I was very poetic.
It was, because I mean, it's like, if I got to be honest, like, Finch, you are like my own personal brand of heroin. I can't fucking quit you.
Well, we'll talk about that on episode 4.
All right. Well, let's close this out, guys. I've had a really good time. I hope you guys have too. You can always, I want you guys to tell us how fucking shitty we are, or how much you love us and you love listening to our voices every week. So write us at player33show@gmail.com. And that's 33, not written out, just the numbers. You can follow me on Twitter at player33bob. How can they follow you, Finch?
That would be Player 33 Finch.
Holy shit, it's like we coordinated that. Anyway, and of course, please help us make this show. Help us continue to make this shit. Okay? You can visit patreon.com/player33. Anyway, it's been fun, Finch. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Definitely in the most respect to anyone that is going to go through the ups and downs of this podcast until it is just perfect every time.
No more political bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's step 1.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, y'all take care now. From Atlanta, Georgia, y'all take care.
Yeehaw.